Welcome to Compton. It's our first day, and today we're gonna start tearing up this area. We're gonna start, some of it's gonna be concrete, and then other parts are gonna be turf. Hey Kaylee, what's your first impression of Compton?
I heard Compton was a really bad area, but since being here, I really haven't felt unsafe at all. The people here are great. Everyone I've met has been super nice and everything. It's just been a great experience so far, and it's only day one, so.
Yeah, I would agree with you. This is my first time to Compton too. The girls went to go get groceries for the week. So what did you guys do while we were gone?
For about like 4 hours, we were scooping up dirt with a shovel and putting it in wheelbarrows and then like putting it in the big trailer, the dumpsters.
And then back there we have a fire going and we're burning some firewood and stuff. And then in the trailer we had to take the grass out from the dirt because, well, that was just our job.
I'm Kaylee Bruxford.
I'm Addy Yamba.
And welcome to day 2 of our project. So for today, we're leveling out this turf right here that we're gonna put in. In the bathroom in the church, we put some leveling on the floor so they can put some new tile in. And then back behind this fence over here, we're putting some rocks in for a drain. So what's your favorite part of the project so far?
I mean, it's been fantastic. Yesterday, we did a lot of leveling. There was grass here. It looks perfect and neat. There's a lot of energy here for Christ. I mean, there was nothing like too much energy for Christ, but yesterday I think my highlight was the boys and I and the ladies as well, getting all the grasses leveled out and taking them in wheelbarrows, dumping them there. That was really fun. Then after that, last night we played soccer. There was a turf right behind this house, and it was really fun. After the whole day of working, we still had much energy to play soccer, so that was fun.
It was great to watch you guys play soccer, super fun. There was a lot of energy in the crowd. We had a potluck last night with the rest of the community, and it was great to see everyone just coming along together. We interacted great with the rest of the community, even though we just met them last night, and it was fun to hear all their stories from Compton and how they've grown up and everything like that.
Yeah, certainly. This is a really nice community, and it's really good to see like a Christian community together that comes and, eats together. That was really good to see.
Get low. Hand down.
Good morning. This is day 3 of Compton. We are going to set concrete and get these posts back into shape.
And we are right now building some forms so we can get these posts set on top of the concrete. And we're going to be pouring some concrete around the kitchen area here too. And then we're going to go over to see where else we're going to put concrete. Morning, Addy.
Morning, Gary. Morning, Tim.
Morning.
How do you guys sleep?
With my eyes closed.
Like this.
So these piles are diminished greatly.
Yeah.
That's all underneath that green mat.
And if you look here, we're going to be pouring about 9 yards of concrete today, all by wheelbarrow, no pump. And then we have, if you look here, our turf. We are laying down turf. It was quite a job getting all the dirt out of there. Some was done by hand, some was done by skid loader.
And
But-
some by horses.
Yeah. So we're getting started early here this morning. We were out here about 6:30, 6:45 this morning getting ready.
So this is the bathroom that we have demolished and are going to rebuild. We'll put a shower in the corner, replace the stool, gonna set a pedestal sink here, and the walls will be all painted and a new door. Hopefully without many more complications. We'll have those things set today.
Good morning. Arnie and I are here. We're heading to coffee. We joined a podcast this morning. You do that podcast every week, right?
Yes, every week. I got a segment of 10 minutes every Monday.
Okay. So we did that already. So now we're heading to grab a cup of coffee before we start working. But this week has been a little bit unusual, yeah?
Yeah. I mean, we sometimes we hear about these takeovers, but not in this corner, not that close. Where pretty much a group of people take over a street and intersection, and that's what happened last night at the corner of Rosecrans and Long Beach, which is like a block away from church.
Yeah. So we were gonna head to the taco trucks, and we started heading down the road, and with all of the rumors of the different protests, we didn't know what we would come across. And then we got to the road and everything was blocked off and people were coming in from behind, and we were in a big 15-passenger van.
A group of tourists were trapped.
I was a little worried.
Okay. Yeah. No, it is fair.
Well, so Wednesday when I got here, do you remember? One of the questions I asked you was, what are you seeing? How are people feeling about
Yes.
what's going on
Yeah. We talked about
with
it.
ICE and deportation? Because it's a pretty Latino area
Yeah.
that we're in the city.
Yes.
And you said, I haven't really seen it with my eyes yet.
No, I called it. Yeah, that's true. And so it's 62% Hispanic in Compton.
Yeah.
So it
With
is.
all different statuses.
Yeah, correct. All different statuses. And this was the first time that I really saw it, that it was happening. I mean, I saw it in social media and videos, but nothing in person. And yeah, in 2 days, 3 days later, that we have this huge episode, like a mile or 2 miles away from here.
Yeah, the helicopters were flying over our heads all
day.
All day.
Yeah.
We didn't know what was going on at first. I think it's an interesting time to be a church in the middle of people who are afraid. Some people didn't come to church yesterday out of fear.
And like I told Jose Luis on the talk show on the radio, say we are called to be salt and light, and the Bible is really clear that you don't use a light to put it under a table, but on top of it, so you can shine bright right to others, right?
Yeah.
So that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
Right when we got there, I was just very surprised about how like safe I felt in that area, because I know it is like a dangerous area. But the church was just, that area was so cool and didn't even feel like you were in the city. It was really cool to see that.
Something that surprised me about Compton is that it's not as bad as people say it is. It's actually a pretty nice community.
I would agree. I'd say that Compton, when you hear about it in the movies or in TV, they definitely make it sound like it's gangs and other things that you should be afraid of. But people there were amazing. The communities were amazing. The yards were kept up. It was quite surprising to see the reality compared to what the movies say.
Yeah, so what surprised me was so the first night we got there, we all the whole community, but around the church ate together. And it really surprised me, and looking at the community after we ate supper, it surprised me that it wasn't as bad as I thought.
I had heard that there was violence and gangs, and it just was not the place to be. Now what I saw, neighbors, they would wave, some would say good morning, just, how you doing, that just the neighborly kind of thing that you kind of have going on in Orange City. The longer I was there, the more I saw the results of this church. That area needs Christ, but they also need the compassion that the church brings.
So what surprised me this time about Compton, I would say that every time we go, there's something new that we didn't realize. There's always layers to Compton and to how their community functions together. Two of the things that probably surprised me this time was, as we were there while fear kind of fell over Compton, to see how everyone came together, but not to necessarily do something, but to hold space for those tears and that fear. And I think that was just a really important thing for us to witness and to see just how we can hold space for each other, even if we can't fix everything. And then the second thing was, this time more than any other time we've been there, we saw desperate women in the middle of the day walking the streets. And I think it surprised me because things are not always hidden in the dark anymore. And it made me wonder where as a church, the church globally, are we stepping into those spaces, because these things are now walking even in the daytime. And I think that was a surprise to me.
Yeah, I saw the character of God throughout the families that were living on the campus and their story for why they chose to live there, and just the amount of faith they had to pick up their old life that was much more comfortable and move to an area that was dangerous and they didn't really know all the answers yet about their life, but they still had the faith to move there because of God's calling on their life.
I really saw God when we were working on the turf and the cement when we were digging the holes, because just to see all the progress that we made throughout the whole time we were there, it was like really nice.
I could really see God at work in just the community itself, as well as our team, the teamwork between the members. There was a wide variety of talent and also ages, and everybody was willing to do basically any job that was asked of them, and if they didn't know how to, they asked for a little more guidance, but they all were very willing to do anything that was needed.
Yeah, so like my dad said, our whole team, like when we got there and throughout the time we were there, I just saw God in all of us, like how we wanted to worship and all of that.
I thought maybe you were going to say the ice cream truck.
The ice cream truck.
You should keep that part in there.
I was introduced to Victor. There was a little bit of a language issue, but basically what he told me is that when he's pacing, or what I called pacing, he was praying, and he was praying constantly. I mean, he did not sit still, and when he's moving, he's praying. Now, I did kind of get his story of where he's at, and the thing is, he lives in Bernard's garage, and he uses the church's bathroom for his everyday needs. I met him walking past one afternoon, and I just said, Victor, the baño's finished. And, you know, he kind of lit up, you know, like, finally. Yeah, well, you know, he was very appreciative of being able to have new facilities. And, I mean, it just was, for me, that was pretty special.
I saw the character of God show up, and I heard it multiple times from people in the church. Most of the people who have become new believers maybe grew up in Compton, in hard spaces. And watching our group through multi-generations talk about how it brought them so much hope that when you change a cycle, to see how generations change. And it was really important for them to watch their kids, even if they were newer to the faith, to watch their kids to play with the kids that we had brought along, and to see how generations actually impact one another.
So about like a block away from the church, there was a old mural, or like it was 2 years old, I think, that had been tagged with graffiti from a gang that was in the area. And so we got the opportunity to paint over that and just revive the mural, and it was love your neighbor in both English and Spanish. And then we got to put our handprint on the mural as well, so it was really cool to just make that and repaint that, and yeah.
Something that I really want to remember is the community when we were playing the soccer games at night, because that was like probably my favorite part of the trip.
Same as Carter, the soccer games at night really showed how the community all got together, and I really want to remember that.
I thought a few things. The soccer games, definitely seeing our kids as well as the kids from the community together. There was no judgment or question of ability or anything like that, where they just had a great time. We definitely saw and felt it, I did at least, at the church service. bilingual service where both English and Spanish was preached, and you could definitely see both members of the church as well as our group that definitely was getting something out of it, and they could really, feel God working.
I took pictures kind of before and after the turf and the concrete was installed. That was such a dramatic change. That just represents what can be done. That was the most representative to me of everybody had something to do, and the results were, astounding, because it transformed that dramatically.
I would say one picture for me personally that I want to remember is there was one night when we were sitting in a circle around a campfire, and Barry, who had grown up in Compton, was telling his stories of how God grabbed a hold of him and changed him. And I looked across the circle, and my dad had his arm around Albert. And I know that not every day Albert gets to hear stories of faith from other men of color, and to see what a strong leader they've become. And so seeing that image was super impactful for me.
What a transformation that took place in the month of June. We are so grateful for the change that has happened. A little over 2 years ago, we put turf in the front yard at City Church, and we wanted to do the same in the back. And we were so grateful to have a team from Orange City, Iowa, be out here and prepare the space. First, you had to remove 3 inches of topsoil from the entire area. Then you add 2 inches of road base, and then 1 inch of decomposed granite. And then you can start unrolling some of the turf. It was fun to work with these guys, absolute joy. So fun to have their excitement and enthusiasm as we go. In addition to this project, there are a few more that we won't see, but one is we extended the patio area by 8 feet. So added this 8 feet of concrete, which is fantastic for our Sundays after church, our parties that are thrown there, art camp, soccer camp, all the different events that take place on our space. We created a little bit more room that you're seeing right here. We couldn't be happier with the result. You're also seeing some stone that was done on the border, trees that were trimmed, bushes that were manicured, field stone that was repurposed. We're just so thankful for the work that took place. Also, special thanks to Faith Church in Pella, Iowa. You allowed us to dream that this project could happen, and then to the many, many others who were so generous with their time and talents to come and help with this space. We're excited for what's to come. In fact, this last week was art camp, and over 150 students and staff across the yard made it for an amazing time and space. So we're so grateful for the work that was done and the investment and the partnership of the gospel that we got to experience together. Thank you, thank you, thank you for your support.